Namaste, Jai Bharat. The South Indian minds, the South Indian scientists, they have made significant contribution to Bharat. Always they have been making very significant contributions to Bharat, be it in scientific field or otherwise. If you look at the philosophers of Bharat, we have Shankaracharya, South Indian, and we have Vallabha, Nagarjuna, and Ramanujacharya, and many. If you take the names, Vijayanagara Empire also, you take the names, even a large amount of South Indians who are at top, and all these Kashmiri philosophers, many of them are from South, who go to Kashmir and settle, because the Kashmir Desha, which is Kashyapa Maharshi's place, was a hub of knowledge, where scholars from all over Bharat used to go and sit. If you go to the University of Takshila or even Nalanda, you will naturally find a lot of professors from South India. So this time it is the IIT Madras. Madras is the old name. These days they call themselves as Chennai. The IIT Madras has converted the VTOL technology. That is vertical takeoff and landing technology. And this vertical takeoff and landing technology is very complicated, very subtle, and has to be done very carefully. It is simple. The concept is very simple. You can understand it. See, you normally see an aircraft needing a runway to land. The runway airfield is called runway. It's called as runway because for taking off and landing, the aircraft, it has to run. For taking off, it has to run considerable length, given length, to attain the right speed to get the right thrust to take off from the ground and then maneuver into the air and fly. Similarly, for landing also, when you fly, you have to maintain a given amount of speed. Otherwise, you'll fall down. Otherwise, you'll come down. To remain in the air, you have to continuously move. It is simple, like a bicycle. Bicycle is a kind of vehicle which can't stand by its own. Bicycle has to be always put on a stand, even or any two-wheelers for that matter. But you travel on this thing great distance and reasonably safely. That's because of the momentum. When the bicycle is in motion, it will not fall. It goes straight. And the moment the speed comes to a less, below a point, it will fall down. Same is the case that to take off, you have to attain a given speed, and to land, you will be landing with a given speed that will sustain the aircraft in the air, and then touch down and then run on the runway until the speed is reduced. They use brakes, all right, good brakes. That's why the aircraft's tires are periodically changed after so many landing, etc. They have a calculation. And some of the fighters, especially Sukhoi 7, if I remember correct, they land even with tail chutes. The parachute opens behind, which will arrest the speed, etc. So there is some method of restricting the speed. In any case, for any aviation gimmicks, for any aviation operation, you need a runway, either to fly up or land on the ground. Now this technology, this IIT Madras engineers has brought up is very interesting. You just take off vertically and land, where one do not need a runway. Runway takes huge space. Lot of area is required for an airfield. But if the vertical takeoff and landing is a reality, you can take off from any open ground. Take off and land. And that's a technology which has little complications. And the advantage of this technology which they have developed is multiple rocket system. Theoretically, it is easy to understand. Practically, the complications therein only the real scientists would know. Theoretically, I would say is that it's something like a accelerator that you using in an automobile. The accelerator reduces the speed of the engine. to a desired level, so that an automobile, which it moves, it starts moving slowly and also comes to a halt slowly. Similarly, an aircraft that is taking off should have slow movement to take off. It starts with a normal movement, then it will get shifty on the ground, then it has to go up under control. So the desired amount of thrust must be generated every time when you either take off and land. And landing is always more complicated than taking off. You have to land means the objective is a soft touchdown, and they have developed all these things. This would make a lot of difference to primarily for Air Force and also Navy. Navy's aircraft carrier can carry more aircraft and can be considerably smaller in size. And Indian Air Force or our Air Force need not have that long runways. It is possible for grounds, several grounds, like you have the tarmac and you have the hangars where you keep the aircraft. All this can be done easily, and it's not possible for the enemy to destroy the bases. Destroying the base through bombardment by enemy is to destroy the runway, and it takes time to repair the runway. It will take time. So the runway gets closed down. Such exigencies can be avoided. Good work, and it has to come into practice. It has to be really come as, in the sense, put into practice means all kind of practical. No, there's a difference between applied something and theoretical something. It has to really come into applications. Could take time. It maybe need to be perfected. But then this technology they have had. The US Air Force and all, they have this kind of thing. But the technology is propulsion. If the technology is more of a rocket thing, which is a little more complicated. I am not going into that. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.